Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Welcome students. This is our second step in the journey to learn about business environment. I had given you some activity that you must observe surrounding you, who is doing which type of business. Have you observed your environment? Anyways, keep it on and just look at this our today's schedule. Okay, today we are going to learn the very first unit of our diploma or bachelor degree business and administration course, which is based on the Indian business environment. The first unit is our basics of Indian business environment. The very first in this unit we will learn about the overview and outline of the unit. What is the outline of the unit? What we will learn in this unit? The first point that we will learn is introduction to the unit or the subject. What is the subject that we are going to learn? So, it's essence of this chapter. The second point is objectives of this chapter. Why to learn business environment, or what is the why to learn the basic concept of business environment. So, this is our second point. The third point is our what is business environment. What is business environment? We will learn it with definition. So, in the fourth is importance of studying business environment. How it will benefit you. How you will be benefited by learning this kind of environment. Suppose a person has learned business environment and another person who has not learned business environment. But we have to think with two sides, the formal education and informal education. If a person is doing business with successful earning and success and very good earning profit, so definitely the person is learning or looking or observing its business environment. So, importance of business studying business environment and features of Indian environment. So, this is the syllabus of our this particular unit. Move ahead. So, the first point is introduction and objective of this particular unit. What is the unit? Unit is about the basic concept of business environment, Indian business environment. Objectives, what is the objective? To understand the concept of business environment. It is our objective. What is the concept of business environment? To know India's business environment. These are main two objectives that we are going to learn. To understand the concept of business environment, to know India's business environment. These are the two main points of this chapter. The third is to be able to analyze Indian business environment. Obviously, as we are learning, we are not going to just read and write, but we have to learn to analyze, because we are learning at present the current Indian environment, and environment is the situation that will keep changing always. So, suppose after 2 years, maybe after 5 years, maybe after 10 years, as we are experiencing the environment right now, you will not get the same type of environment after some time or in future. So, we have to learn to analyze the environment, not just for example, the population. Population will not remains this fixed and same after 2 years or after 3 years. Technology will not remain same after 2 years or after 3 years. So, environment is a situation which will keep changing always. So, we have to learn to be able, to analyze Indian business environment. The next, now look at this picture. This shows that the concept of business environment. What is business environment? This is, for example, this is the business, the central circle is showing the business. There are 4 circles surrounding it. The first upper circle is society, the next is governing policy, the foreign situation and nature. Do you remember our first unit, first meeting? On this for this syllabus, I had given you some overview of the syllabus, and we had discussed in that unit that the what if business is a activity, such kind of activity that has to adapt and that has to address everything. It will have to address the society, the foreign, the government policies as well as natural features of any society. Now, as we have to learn what is business environment, so definition, by definition, see the step by step definition you will learn is the first step is whatever, anything, the situation or any product or any physical situation emerged, that has emerged, or any person, whatever that affects decision making. Next, in relation to business process, our specific goal here is to learn about business environment. Okay. So, right now we are going, we are not going for any kind of tour or any kind of pleasing journey. So, we have to do or we have to learn about business process. So, whatever the situation that affects decision making in relation to business process is its environment. So, now read it again, whatever that affects decision making in relation to business process is its environment. Now, what affects business decision? Any situation or factor. Again, which factors or which type of situation? Government policies or social culture, level of market competition. How many competitors will you will have to face in the market? Foreign relation. Suppose we are doing our trade with Sri Lanka. On the other hand, we are doing our trade with with Canada or Pakistan. All these factors will definitely affect. As for other factors are availability of natural resources. In a country, you will not be in the situation to produce anything if you are not getting natural resources in sufficient amount. State of technological development, again a technology, suppose if it is not developed, you will not be in the situation to improve the product quality of a product. Or suppose if you are not adopting any new technology and some your rival has already adopted that technology or adopted that technology, your rival will be benefited and will get the very handsome profit. So, technological development also affects to your business decision. So, next is why to learn business environment, importance of studying business environment. See, the first is we have to examine our surrounding. How to analyze? These are the steps. First, we have to observe, we have to examine. So, examine and predict. We have to predict as because you are producing anything will be solved in future. So, you have to learn to predict the environmental issues or environmental situations, to examine and predict the current and potential changes. For example, suppose we are there are 2 types of environment, for example, natural environment and social environment. We have to predict that this time we will have a very good rain, or weather ministry says that we will have a very thin or scant rain. So, we have to predict, suppose we will get a very good rain, our sale of umbrella or raincoat will boom, will take a highest rate. Or suppose we have to, so in this case we have to examine as well as we have to predict the current and potential changes that take place in the environment, any environment whichever it is, it can be either natural or social environment. The second is provide inputs in order to prepare strategic decisions. We have to make some strategies that we have to earn profit. At least if we are not in the situation to earn profit, we have to make loss, minimum loss. So these are these will be our strategy to make highest profit or for minimum loss. So to provide inputs in order to prepare strategic decisions. The third is to carry out and foster strategic thinking in an organization. One point you have to keep in your mind and remember that a business is not a matter of any individual. If any individual is doing his or her own business individually, but they have to the person has to keep relations with some other person, some other organizations. So the decision making to carry out and foster strategic thinking in an organization, business activity is always an organized activity and it is done for any kind of organization. For organization can be a family or it can be a government organization, anything. Now features of Indian business environment. Which kind of features we are going to learn? We will have to learn strengths and weaknesses. Strength of Indian economy as well as its weaknesses. For example, take the word population. There are two types of philosophy about India's population. The first school of people says that population is a burden for India. It is growing with highest rate. We have no land to accommodate population in its proper manner. We have very scant food. We don't have no water or anything life supporting things. So some people of the school says that the population of India is a burden. We cannot give them education. We cannot give them food. We cannot give them clothes. So how we cannot say it's an asset. But another people of thought of school says that the population is an asset for India. How can it be said asset for India? The population is so big or so large that we cannot accommodate. But if the population is very well educated, if the population is healthy, so we can use this manpower as a resource to develop. We have two examples in this world. One is India and another is China. With the cheapest labor, China is moving too fast with production of cheapest production. It is selling its production in the whole world's market. So with cheap labor, India too can get benefits. So population can be asset or it can be a burden. We have to think for ourselves that which kind of population can we get for our business. Or for example, suppose we are a labor, we are doing some labor, we are doing some work for any organization. Are we asset or a burden? Think for yourself. So some weaknesses, for example, for population, foreign market competition. So this is the India is a very attractive place to start or to launch any product for any country or any economy in the world. As India has the growing middle class, it has a very big population. Suppose even a 10% people purchases some new product, the company will get a very large profit. So India is a very big market. So foreign market competition is a strength for Indian economy. But there are some weaknesses too. For example, population, again look at here, population is strength also and population is its weakness also. Why population is weakness for India? Because it has a very rigid mentality. The population has very rigid mentality. In some places, some very few people are moving ahead and coming out of some orthodox thinking. So the population, some we don't have some educational facilities, we don't have some healthy health facilities. So as population is strength for India, it is a weakness too for India. The next is border problem, such a big problem for India, it is a border problems. Imagine that we have very peaceful relation with some our neighbor countries and we can flourish, but fact is that we have border problems in all our the whole country's border, whether it is Pakistan border, whether it is Chinese border, we have problems. Foreign market competition. Now look, I have given you two examples that some points can be asset or some point can be strength for Indian economic environment, or the same situation can be weakness too for business environment. There are two examples. For example, population is a strength, the population is weakness too for Indian business environment. In a similar way, foreign market competition. Foreign market competition is very good as Indian producers. For example, if we are talking about ourselves, we are very good producers, we have very good quality of production, we can sell them at cheapest market with our cheapest labor prices. So it's a competition, the foreign market competition is a good for our business. On the other hand, the same thing can be a weakness. Foreign market competition can be a weakness for our business. So we have to learn such kind of situation when we are thinking for our business. Now parallelly, you have to think for your business. Suppose imagine one kind of production that you are going to produce something. You are going to produce some clothes, some ready-made garments, or you are going to produce some food production. You will have to face, suppose you have to face some Indian rivalry as well as you will have to face foreign market rivalry also. Next, now we will see features of Indian business environment. What are the features of India in relation to its business environment? Opportunities, threats, business opportunities, business enterprise alertness. Then in the next, it has flexibility and dynamism, problems and prospects, acceptability, adaptability, utilization of resources. Now let us take some examples. We have not to go word to word, or each word we have not to explain, but we will see the essence of the chapter or essence of the unit. Now what are the opportunities in the Indian market? Suppose you are producing some product. You need not to sell your product in foreign market, because you will get a very good market at domestic level. Because India has the largest population, your product, if it is very well it has very good quality, it will be sold very soon. So suppose we are facing some border problems or our foreign relations are not very good, so we need not to bother, as Indian population is so big that it has the potentiality to sell our product in our own domestic market. So this is the opportunity. But we have some threats too, because we have not closed our borders for economic activities. Production from foreign countries or multinational companies are coming very easily in Indian market, and they are selling their products in with our competition. So this is our threat. So business with another business opportunity, you can sell anything. We have a very diverse culture, we have very diverse population, we have very a number of cultural and festivals. So these are our opportunities for any business, that you can start anything and sell anything. Next is business enterprise alertness. Business are very alert. Our business schools, our newspapers, our news channels and everything else are doing very well. So they will be business enterprise they will keep the business unit in alert situation. The next is flexibility and dynamism. See, the flexibility and dynamism is India's very special feature. As we have seen that in history we have learned that Aryans where he came and Aryans came, the Mughals came, the English came, and we have adapted and made flexible ourselves to accommodate all these races in Indian culture. So, India is the name of flexibility and dynamism. For example, flexibility in the sense that before 50 years the democracy was not so mature in India. Although the democracy was the largest, but the mature democracy was not experienced in Indian polity. On the other hand, the second example we can give that the Indian business was not so mature in Indian market. Indian population was not so adaptable before 50 years, which is now, right now, as we have experienced. So, it is flexible and dynamic. Technology is very flexible and dynamic. Problems and prospects, we have to learn our problems and we cannot ignore our problems if we are going to make profits from our business. We cannot ignore predictions from weather for weather forecast. We cannot ignore predictions from social scientists that it will be agitation in some groups of society, between some groups of society and everything. We cannot ignore such kind of any problems. So, we have to look and analyze such kind of problems of Indian business environment. On the other hand, we have to think for prospects too. How can we move ahead in this current situation? For example, business can be done only with optimism. Optimistic person only can do business, as we have to move ahead. We have to think for only making profit. We have to think only for minimize our loss, or we have to maximize our profit. So, optimism only can be possible in the situation. Suppose we can see prospects. Suppose if we have to face some situation, what we can sell and how we can sell, how to make it available to the people, what type of production people want. So, we have to analyze and see probability to sell our product. Acceptability and adaptability. These are the same or similar as features we can say, like it is flexibility and dynamism, it is acceptability and adaptability. Indian people or Indian market are is very adaptable to new situation. We have to adapt in natural calamities or in some man-made calamities. So, adaptability is a very special feature. Sometimes foreign people discuss with admiration that Indian people are so flexible and adaptable in any kind of situation. They can set themselves again in any situation. Utilization of resources. Do you have any information about economic situation of India before 60 years or before 100 years? As India is growing with 9 to 10% or in double digit with growth rate, India was not growing with such a speed before some or few years. Before just 50 years, before just 60 or 80 years, India was not growing at all. Why it is so? Because India's resources were not utilized. India had very dense forest. It had very good quality of land, but lack of utilization of resources will keep you down in the economy. Knowledge of utilization of resources brings you up in the economic activities. For example, very good blow of wind, we haven't thought earlier in our past or in our history that we can produce energy from blowing wind. So, we are producing very good, even wind is now our asset. It is now natural resource. Wind is now, we had not thought so in some back, few years back. So, we can see that the utilization of resources is very good for any kind of business decision. Again, I would say that we have to learn in open university. Here you will have to learn on your own time. So, you are free to learn at your space and at your time, but stick to your timetable, stick to your schedule. If you need anything, to ask anything, just you can put your questions to your instructors, or we have everything, our information on our website. So, you can visit our website and contact us by on our email ID and telephone numbers. In this journey, you have to learn and you have to read your book. Just not stick to your own book which is given. You just go through the use your internet the data to improve your knowledge. How to write answers, how to face the questions will be learned in our next schedule. So, first you see what is the business, and this time's activity for you is to imagine a business. Suppose you are going to start a business, your own business. Which kind of business would you like to start? Whether it is a service sector's business, suppose you are providing a telephone service or any some traveling service or vehicle service, or you are housekeeping service, or you are producing some product. You are producing or you are selling some electronic goods, or you are selling some footwear, or you are selling or producing some food products. So, in next time we will learn our business with examples. So, you have to make some notes on your own plan that you are, suppose you are going to start this kind of business, and in in specifically as we are in Gujarat. So, we will learn Gujarat's environment and India's environment as with our own syllabus step by step. So, I wish you a very good time ahead, a very happy journey with Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, and a very good time. So, see you in next time. Very good. Thank you.
स्वाध्यायः परमं तप